Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to be doing the paired samples t-test. And as you might know by now, a t-test is used to compare the means of two different measurements or samples. But in the case of a paired samples test, we have two related means. So we have measurements of the same sample before and after a certain interval or a certain trial or any sort of change. We call this the paired samples design or the within subjects or repeated measurements design. So basically here we have data from 10 individuals who adopted a certain workout regime to lose weight, and we have their pre and post workout weights, and we're going to see whether the workout was effective or not. So let's formulate our hypothesis to be tested. Now our null hypothesis would assume that there is no relationship between the workout and the weights of the people. So according to that, the weight of the people should not change after the workout, and so there would be no significant difference between the pre and post workout weights. So let's perform the test and see whether our hypothesis is going to be accepted or rejected. Go to Analyze, Compare Means, and select the paired samples t-test. This window pops up and we're going to move our two variables to the other side. We can also see that our confidence interval is set to 95% by default, so we'll just continue and press OK to get the result. Right, so here we have three tables. The first is the descriptive table, where we have the mean, the sample size, the standard deviation, and the standard error of mean. In the next table, we have the correlation coefficient, which is the numerical measure of the relationship between the two variables. It tells us whether the two variables are related or not and how strongly they are related. But we don't need that, so we'll move on for now. In the third table, which is the inferentials table, we have the mean difference, which is precise, but it is less accurate. On the other hand, we have the confidence interval, which tells us that the mean difference is likely to fall within this range 95% of the time. And although this is less precise, it's more accurate. Moving on, we have the t-score, the degrees of freedom, and the p-value, which is supposed to correspond to the t-score at this degrees of freedom. So our p-value is 0.001, which is less than 0.05, and our confidence interval ranges from almost 18 to 49, which does not contain 0. I also looked up the critical value at 9 degrees of freedom and found it to be 2.262, which is less than 5. So we can conclude that our means are different. But now that we've established them as different, how do we know which one is higher? So one way would be to look at the two means of the two variables. So 148 is higher than 114, so we can say that the first variable, which is the pre-workout weight, has a higher mean. Additionally, we can also look at the signs of the mean difference and the t-score. Now here the positive signs indicate that the variable 1, the first variable, has a higher mean, which in this case is the pre-workout weight. Now what happens if we reverse the order or the sequence of the two variables? Let's see. So let's zoom out and go to Analyze, Compare Means, and select the paired samples t-test. Now we can simply switch the two variables by pressing this button and press OK for the results. Notice that the results are the same. The only difference is that the signs in the inferences table have been reversed. Also recall that the critical value at 9 degrees of freedom was 2.262. Does that mean that the minus 5 is now less than the critical value? Actually no, because this sign is irrelevant. We'll just ignore it and focus on the value, because this sign is simply here to tell us which of the two variables has a higher mean. So the negative signs of the t-score and the mean difference actually indicate that variable number 2 has a higher mean, which in this case is the pre-workout weight. Recall that in the first case, the positive signs indicated that the first variable had a higher mean, which was the pre-workout weight, and in the second case, where we have negative signs, the negative signs indicate that the second variable has a higher mean, which is the same variable, the pre-workout weight. So basically, we'll have the same results no matter what order or what sequence we put the variables in. By the way, our null hypothesis has been rejected and our alternate hypothesis has consequently been accepted in this scenario. And that's a wrap. Do join us in the coming videos where we will be discussing the independent samples t-test before moving on towards ANOVA. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section, and thank you for watching.